Well, I'm going to try to help the steering out just a little bit more, and I'm getting started right now.
My name's Clint, and if you've been following this channel the last few videos, it's been all about steering. Well, here's one more for you. My steering wasn't bad to start with, but after I added the 37s, it's a whole lot more weight on the corners. I could tell I was feeling a lot more bump steer than I was initially, and knowing that the internals of the ball joints and the tie rod ends are all junk, I decided that I want to go ahead and try to take care of the steering as best I can and head that off before it becomes a problem. You know, I've already did the heavy duty tie rod and drag link, did that last week. This week I'm going to be doing something to kind of help go right along with that. I'm adding the Synergy track bar and sector shaft brace. The reason I'm doing this is because the track bar bracket that's welded on the frame from the factory has been known to have issue. I'm sure a lot of you will remember the big recall that there was about this time last year. Some of the welds on those braces or on those brackets, they were actually breaking. Fortunately, my Jeep didn't fall under that recall category. I looked at it myself, don't see any issues with it. The welds look fine. But if you remember a couple videos ago when I did the 5 things I hate about my JL, the number 2 thing was the hydro electronic steering. If you'll look right down in here, right behind your PCM, look right down in there, that's your steering box. That's your steering gear. You'll see where this is the shaft where your steering wheel comes into the back of the steering box. Now, if you crank your Jeep up and you have somebody turn the steering wheel, you will be able to see that entire steering box move. That's not a good thing, and I think personally that it helps contribute to the loose steering. I'm going to do this install for you guys, and hopefully to help make that steering just a little bit better. Let's get started. So here's what the kit comes with. It comes with the bracket itself. It's going to go on like that. Instructions: 10 more horsepower. This is your sector shaft brace and the new nut. Red Loctite and hardware. The first thing you need to do is disconnect your sway bar end links and rotate your sway bar up out of the way. Now disconnect your track bar from the frame side mount using a 21mm. It's best to do this with all 4 tires on the ground to prevent binding of the track bar. Now we're going to go ahead and take the nut off the bottom of the pitman arm using a 42mm socket. Not everybody has one of those. I picked mine up at Northern Tool for about 10 bucks. This is not an easy task. I wouldn't want to do this without an impact. Next, we'll apply some red Loctite to the new sector shaft nut and reinstall flange end down. Torque to 184 foot-pounds.
Next thing, we're going to take these 4 bolts out, here and here. These are what actually hold your steering box to the frame on the inside.
This is an 18 millimeter. Pay attention to these bolts because the two in the front are longer than the two in the back. So make sure you put them where you know where they go. There we go. They send a new track bar bolt. It's a little bit longer than the stock one because, I mean, you're going to have this much more material on either side of the track bar, so you need a little bit longer bolt. So at this point, you'll take the bracket, put it up in place, and then use the new track bar bolt to just hold it in there till you get all the bolts in and tightened up. Now try to get these bolts started, and we're gonna have to lift the steering box up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that spring. There we go. All right, we got the bolt in there. Now I'm gonna jack that axle back up. So that's all you have to do. If the spring's in your way, getting this top bolt in, just jack it up a little bit, take your jack stand out, and then droop it down enough where you can get that bolt in. Then you can jack it back up, put your jack stand under it. That way you're not underneath it without a jack stand. All right, you just want to make sure you get these bolts started. You don't want to tighten them down yet. Next, we're going to take this 1/2 inch zinc plated bolt and washer, another washer and nut on the inside. They're going to go in this top bolt on this bracket. Do not tighten them up. Just get them started. Now, this black bolt, it's a low profile bolt, has an Allen head on the inside, on the bolt head. That's going to go from the inside of the track bar brace, or the inside of the track bar mount, towards the outside, like this. Maybe. Time for a little help here. Just like that. Take a washer and a nut. Just start them.
Now install the sector shaft brace. The side with 2 holes is forward facing. The larger rear hole is the mounting hole. The smaller hole in the front is for the Zerk fitting. Slide sector shaft brace over the flange nut on the pitman arm and attach with a 3/8 zinc hex bolt. Now install the silver Allen head cap screw to the rear of the sector shaft brace. I had some trouble getting the rear hole to line up, so I used a 9/16 wrench to tighten down the hex bolt in the front, and that turned the sector shaft brace around where I could get it lined up. Once I got the cap screw started, then I was able to loosen the hex bolt and tighten up the cap screw a little at a time to get it even.
Alright, now we're ready to start tightening everything up. There is a very specific order they want you to tighten this stuff up in. So, we're going to try to get through it. Using a 3/4 inch socket and a 3/4 inch box end wrench, torqued to 60 foot-pounds. Using a 1/4 inch Allen wrench on this bolt on the back side, torque this one to 60 foot-pounds. Now, torque your 4 main bolts up here, 99 foot-pounds. Going to be close. Next, you're going to use a 7/32 Allen wrench and tighten up this bolt on the back side, 30 foot-pounds. Now, how the hell you're going to do that with an Allen wrench, I don't know, but and this bolt is going to be 30 foot-pounds as well. That's not a lot. I saw these two tabs pinched together, and that's about as tight as I'm comfortable going with into aluminum. I don't want to strip that out, then I'll really be screwed. Now, using a 3/8 box end wrench or open end wrench, put your grease zerk in. There is no torque spec on this. You don't want it to be snug, but you don't want to hulk it on there either. And try as best you can to make sure, because this is a 90-degree fitting, make sure that it's pointed down so you can get your grease gun on it. Like I figured. So I'm gonna have to back it back around. About right there. I can get my grease gun on it right there. We're gonna take this little screw right here, and we're gonna put some red Loctite on it and put it in that threaded hole on the bottom. What this is for, I don't know. Oh, I see what it's for. It's a retainer to make sure that bronze sleeve doesn't slide out. That's what that's for.
hit it with some grease. Yeah, I'll do that afterwards, after I get it all back together.
Test drive complete. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm pretty happy with it. Coupled with the heavy-duty drag link and tie rod, this made a world of difference in the steering and how it feels. Should have done this a long time ago. If you have a JL, I highly recommend doing this mod. If you like this Project Napalm JL shirt I'm wearing, you can find a link to our store in the description. Don't forget to check that out. Till the next time, keep the shiny side up and Jeep on.